So last night I was watching the Pelicans-Lakers game. The Lakers won pretty soundly. Now the Pelicans look really bad, but in all the bad, there are two guys specifically that give me some hope for this New Orleans franchise, and that comes in the names of Derik Queen and Jeremiah Fears. Now quickly, I have to talk about how good this rookie class has been so far this year. Cooper Flagg drops 35 points, a career high 2 nights ago. Con Knippel blowing expectations out of the water, putting himself in Rookie of the Year convos. VJ Edgecombe's off to a really hot start this year. Ace Bailey has really been catching a groove out in Utah, so lots of rookies doing their thing. But I am calling my shots early. I'm buying all in what I'm seeing right now from Derik Queen and Jeremiah Fears out in New Orleans. Now the Pelicans have straight up just been bad to start this 2025 campaign. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. A lot of guys on this roster, we're already seeing them miss time due to injuries, and that's given rookies Derik Queen and Jeremiah Fears a chance to creep up in the rotation for the Pels. And they've really both outperformed expectations to start the year. Jeremiah slid into that starting point guard role for them pretty early, and then a couple games later, Queen joined him in that starting rotation for a few games as well. I will say as of now, very early on, Jeremiah looks a little more polished of the two in their respective roles. Jeremiah is currently averaging 15.5 points, almost 3 assists, and 3 rebounds a night. I think he's done a good job blending in as a pro, and you don't see this a lot from a lot of rookies, but he's definitely held his own out there. He has a really good handle even at the NBA level. He's got a really quick first step and great downhill speed for a guard. He's had a pretty solid start to his rookie year, shooting the ball with 45, 36, 78 splits, so not the best, but pretty solid shooting splits for a rookie, kind of trying to pave his way within the league. I see Jeremiah Fears' path for development similar to what we saw in Utah with Keontae George. Kind of just throw him into the fire, play him a lot, let him get a high volume of shots up, and let those kinks just kind of naturally work themselves out. But so far, I've been really impressed when it comes to Jeremiah and the transition he's made into the NBA. And when it comes to Derik Queen, we've seen a lot more highs and lows from him so far this year. But Derik Queen as a player really excites me a lot. I mean, are we not seeing Nikola Jokic vibes from this dude and the way he plays the game? The patience he shows as a player is really exciting to me. He sees the court very well. He makes a lot of these Jokic-esque passes, cross-court. He likes to throw alley-oops. He just has a great feel for the game. He has great vision. I think he shows a lot of playmaking potential in the NBA. Now, when Queen came into the draft, I think some of the questioning surrounding him was what position he would exactly play in the NBA. Queen was very good in college at Maryland, but he kind of plays that tweener big man role, more of that 2000s in-your-face power forward position, which is basically a breed of player that is damn near extinct in the modern NBA. Maybe a caveat could be guys like Isaiah Stewart. However, New Orleans rolled the dice on him with a 13th pick, and here we are now. Now, I think that one thing Derik Queen has to improve on over time is just adjusting to the pace of the NBA. He can almost seem too patient, too slow at times. Sometimes he'll use that slow Euro step and defenses will just collapse on him. He can be a little turnover heavy at times, but just off the eye test alone and watching some of his film, really has that foundation down to be that playmaking big man, sort of a Şengün type of player, a pass first, shot creating, positionless big man. Now right now, Queen is averaging 12 points per game, 6 rebounds, and about 3.5 assists per night on about 23, 24 minutes per night. Like I said, he showed some lows so far, just adjusting to the pace of the NBA, but he's had some highs as well, including a 26-7-4 game against the Trailblazers, a 39-4 game against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, and a 20.7 rebound, 11 assist game against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I think the most exciting part about Queen's game has to be his playmaking ability. His playmaking and court vision have been really impressive to me. He's just one of those guys that creates very well and at his own pace. He's very good with ball movement. For his big frame and rather slow pace of play, it definitely sticks out that he excels passing the ball and making his teammates better. I really do see shades of Nikola Jokic in his game. Now, Nikola Jokic was actually asked about Derik Queen following their matchup a couple nights ago, and Jokic had some high praise for Derik's game, so maybe that proves my theory that Queen is just a baby Jokic. Now, scoring the ball, Queen has been very solid finishing at the rim, making those shots at about a 66% clip so far this year. On shots from the mid-range and further out, his efficiency falls a decent bit, but I think developing that mid-range jumper for him will be huge because he gets a lot of good looks in that mid-range area. And then rebounding-wise, I think he has a good frame. He's 6'9", 250 pounds. He can hold his own on the glass. He's a good competitor. I think just a lot of these things that like like a Şengün, are just going to naturally develop over time. And I do just want to see him out there more, getting a lot more plays ran through him on offense, matching up against good centers like Jokic on defense, so he can kind of just get that feel for the game of the NBA, that pace. So clearly he has the capability to have huge nights, and I think with some more games, more NBA experience under his belt, I think he has all the tools to be a Şengün-like player, or dare I say a Nikola Jokic-like player. Obviously that's not an easy thing to replicate, but I do like what I see from the initial stages of Derik Queen's rookie season so far. Overall, I'm really interested to see how New Orleans uses Derik in the near future. In my opinion, the season's already over for them, so I want to see them give Derik and Jeremiah as many minutes as possible. Just watch the two of them develop as players. Keep your record low. Try to get a high draft pick next season. Jeremiah has already established himself as that future guard for New Orleans, and now Queen has kind of paired himself with Yves Missy, especially with the whole Zion thing starting to prove that it's just not working out there. This year, Zion has had his lowest scoring efficiency of his entire career, and injuries have continued to be a huge problem for Zion. He just can't stay out there on the court, and that's really opened up a lot of that time for Queen to kind of step in and just get more reps in. So New Orleans, hang in there. I'm seeing the vision for you guys. I really like what I'm seeing from Derik Queen and Jeremiah Fears, as well as other young guys like Yves Missy, who I mentioned a second ago. He's in his second year. He's just a very polished big man for as young as he is. I like Bryce McGowens. He's more of that shot-creating two-guard, and he's only 23 years old, so I think he's looked decent in spurts this year. And obviously, Trey Murphy has kind of led the charge for the Pels this season. He's shown a lot of volume scoring and some defensive highs. I think Trey Murphy is an excellent player. I'm a huge fan of his game. Also, the Pelicans do have some movable pieces that I see in Jose Alvarado, Saddiq Bey, and maybe even Zion. Just guys who can contribute on a contending team. Those guys might get sent to some contenders that are buying at the deadline. Maybe move them to acquire some young guys or hopefully some draft capital, as New Orleans is kind of forced to just treat this year as a rebuild year. But like I said, I'm buying in early on this duo for the Pelicans in Jeremiah Fears and Derik Queen. But yeah, how are we feeling about this duo? Make sure to leave your opinions in the comments. Please consider subscribing if you like these types of videos. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at peace.hoops. And that's all I got for today, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.